Hey, beautiful souls, welcome back, or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky. I'm a psychic medium and a spiritual teacher, and I'm just sharing with you guys an experience that I had this week. It kind of rattled me a little bit. On my journey with spirit, I have had magical, glorious opportunities to give people messages and to connect deceased loved ones and spirit guides and animals that have passed. I've spent so many years doing that, and it brings my heart so much joy. I do have an agreement with spirit. People need to be ready. So we have a spirit sign that appears before I approach anyone, and it's always served me well. Have I met people who may not have been open in the moment until I started to speak a little bit? Yeah. And I'm very much okay with people who, don't want to hear from their loved ones. Everyone's entitled to their belief system. But every now and again, there is an experience that kind of takes my breath away. The weather here has been glorious, and summer is coming to an end. So I thought I would pack up my truck and some little people and my dog and head to a beach that's not too far from my home. So we go off on our adventure and we arrive at the beach, and a section of the beach that I go to has a dog beach. So that's where we set up our camp for the day, getting our chairs set up and our cooler set up, and the kids jump in the water, and I make myself comfortable on a lawn chair, and the dogs, resting comfortably under the umbrella. And I thought, today's a good day to do some channeling. Maybe I'll pick up a pen and my notebook and just simply allow what spirit wants me to channel. And just as I was kind of getting into that zone, I heard from spirit this alarm bell, this alert, this stand up straight. So I literally jumped out of my lawn chair and I stood up straight on alert. And I was directed to a person who was standing several feet behind me. It was a man who had two bigger dogs on a leash. And spirit said to me, "You got to go talk to him. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm at the beach." And I thought it was going to be for a reading. And spirit said, "No. You need to go talk to him and tell him to hold on really tight to his leashes." And then spirit played like this little movie. It was, and I can't explain it other than it was like a moment that was coming. It was like I was being shown a clip of time that was coming. And what spirit showed me was him losing control of his leashes and his dogs going after another one. So I went up to this gentleman and I said, "Hi there, can I talk to you?" And I had my spirit sign show up. So I was very much comfortable with going and approaching him. Now, he wasn't open to hear what I had to say. So I said to him, "I really need you to hold on tight to those leashes." I gave him a quick rundown on what I do and what I was seeing. He wasn't nasty, but he definitely wasn't open. And, he more or less told me to go have a seat and mind my own business and look after my own dog. And I just felt this pressure in my chest to push him a little bit. And spirit was relentless on me on, "Lana, stand your ground, stand your ground." So shy of begging him, shy of getting on one knee, I just said to him, "I just need you to hear me. It's extremely important that you hold on tight to your leashes today." So he didn't believe me. And I said to spirit, "Why the spirit sign? Like, why my go ahead sign?" And, spirit was very firm on this needed to be set. Just trust that we gave you your sign because it needed to be set. And that movie of what was coming kept playing over and over. And I was very restless in my chair. And then things seemed to settle down. The energy seemed to settle down a little bit. And I went and sat back down and I was doing a little bit of channeling. Yet I felt very uneasy. And I kept looking around, and the day was going on. People were enjoying themselves. And I just couldn't shift out of this feeling that he needed to hold on to his leashes. And every time I looked at him, he had control of his dogs. And I was becoming I was becoming restless with it. I was becoming, I don't want to say infatuated, but it was my dominant thought. It was my dominant thought with these dogs. So I tried my best to get on and enjoy my day. When, again, stand up came in, stand up, like full attention, stand up. And I was back into this space of feeling on alert. And there was this lady, quite a distance, playing frisbee with her dog. And her dog was off a leash. And I got my go-ahead sign. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So I wander over to chat with this lady. And I said to her, I'm really being told that you need to put your dog on a leash. She became a little guarded with me. She was like, I've been coming to this beach for 5 years with this dog, and we've never leashed him. I'm not leashing him today. And I said to Spirit, you have to help me here. I'm not understanding what you want me to do. And I ended up channeling her brother that passed, and I said to her, did you lose your brother? And she suddenly shifted a little bit, and she's like, yeah. And I said, was he a cow farmer? Yeah. They even showed me the town that he lived in. I said, he is helping me try and convince you to leash your dog. Didn't listen. So back over to my chair I go. And, I said to Spirit, I understand people don't have to listen. I understand. But there's nothing more I can do. And Spirit agreed with me. Spirit's like, you did your best. And sometimes I struggle with that when Spirit wants to speak, when there is a message or a warning, when Spirit is very clear with what needs to be done, even when you may get your own spirit signs or your intuition starts to speak, when Spirit is very clear that they help and they're trying, but if people aren't going to pick it up and listen, there was nothing more I could do. So I tried to get back into focusing on, my channeling and enjoying the water. And it was only maybe 10 or 15 minutes when I suddenly heard this. It's even hard to describe the sound. It was howling and pain and growling and bark, a dog fight. Like it was like I could hear this dog fight. And I look over. And the first gentleman with the 2 bigger dogs, his dogs had gotten away from him and had went after the dog that was playing frisbee. And he was trying to pull them off. And it was a struggle. And they finally were able to get the 2 dogs off the other dog. And the other dog couldn't walk. I could see that there was major injuries to a front leg. And, people had gathered around, and I thought, I've got to go and help. So over I go to help this lady carry her dog away from the area. They were calling for first aid kits, and, we managed to get the dog bandaged. And she looked at me with this look of disbelief. And she, in the middle of all of this chaos, she asked me, how did you know that? And I explained to her that what I explained in the first place was that Spirit was showing me this. And, she really needed to listen. Now, Spirit will never say, oh, I told you so. Spirit, that's not what Spirit does. Spirit was offering a warning, offering an opportunity, and sometimes people don't listen. And yeah, I struggle with that, and I struggled with that, and for several hours on what else could I have done. The gentleman with the 2 bigger dogs was beside himself. His dogs had never behaved that way. Animals can be unpredictable. Whatever triggered that event, he didn't know. But he also approached me with, a sincere apology for me trying to help him. And he said, I don't have an understanding on how this even works for you, but I really wish I would have listened. And the two of them took their dogs to their vehicles, and he was going with them to an emergency vet. And I do feel that the dog that was attacked, as the injuries looked, fairly severe, perhaps weren't life-threatening. They looked like they needed some stitches and some healing to do. My point here is sometimes, Spirit speaks to all of us, and we either think we know best, or we, choose not to listen. And I have learned through my experience with my mediumship that I can talk till I'm blue in the face, and sometimes people aren't going to listen. And, I've said to Spirit, why? Why do we go through this if they're not going to listen? And, part of the answer is people need to learn and grow and have their own experiences, and you can give them the heads up all they want, but they need to learn. And part of their learning is trust. And part of their learning is about Spirit. And part of their learning is to be a little bit more open. And even though Spirit can guide and help and give you the warning signs and teach and reach out, whether it be through angels, guides, mediums, earth angels, animal signs, it's up to us, the physical people, having the experience to leave the door open to their guidance and their help. And that's been a big one for me. It's been a big one with dealing with people is, sometimes they're not going to listen. Even when I had my spirit sign, and I said to Spirit, why the spirit sign? It was because it needed to be said. It needed to get out there. There was an attempt to shift it. Learning and learning. And even for me, it's learning and learning. Leaving the door open for Spirit to come through. My door is always wide open. The doors, the windows, my heart, my mind, my gut. It's always, always, always open for me. I do hope that this little story that I've shared with you kind of leaves you a little bit more open. Sometimes the messages come in the most unique ways, and being open to hear them and pause for a moment to be able to say, what's the worst that could happen if I listen to a message? You just have to listen sometimes. I am wishing you so much love, light, blessings, and as always, a spirit-guided day.